Golly, I had one hit it right there. There he is too. He knocked the crap out of my my war pig right there. And I may switch over to the dime crankbait, try something a little bit slower since we got pretty cold water conditions. And that fish is still sitting pretty shallow. So this is the dime 6 foot right here. Got that crawl color, that orange belly. That's perfect for this watercolor and everything spring in the winter time. So I'm gonna fire this thing for a minute, see if I can get one to eat that, and start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So yeah, we're out. We're in the Ozarks. There's one. First cast. First cast with it. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, it just come off. And I got a crankbait in my arm. But, see? A quick adjustment there. See if I can pull this crankbait out here. That's that dime crankbait. Pretty fish right there. Largemouth up shallow. We're in kind of a little bit of a windy pocket right here. Nice rock on the bank. You know, I was thinking I could throw this war pig, and I think I could probably still get some bites on it. As the afternoon, as it gets a little bit warmer, they'll probably go to eating a faster moving bait. But I just pulled that dime out. It's gonna be hunting the bottom and going a little slower. And so we got that fish to bite, so we'll keep chunking them on. So we're out here, we're in the Ozarks, and we're just in a kind of a high reservoir lake. It's winter time, it's January, the fish are a little lethargic, and but if you get the right conditions and you get some wind like we have right here blowing in some of these banks, fish are still going to be swimming around shallow. I really feel like you can catch some of your larger, bigger bass that live shallow. And so that's what we're doing. We're chunking the dime right here. This is the 6 because I think most of the fish here are going to be within that, you know, 6 foot or less range. This crankbait actually gets probably down more like 8 foot or so. Throwing it on 10-pound Berkeley 100% fluorocarbon, and we're just fishing windy banks, paying attention to the rocks. The angle of the bank, is it 45? Is it flatter? Are we fishing more vertical? Right now I just pulled in this pocket, and it's kind of a little less than a 45. It's kind of a shallow, flat pocket. So I'm gonna keep cranking this stuff and see if we can catch a big one. Primarily these fish that are on the bank, they're eating on crayfish, crawfish, whatever you want to call them. I think that's their main forage. I want to make sure before I narrow anything down, I want to go all the way out here to this point, crank down it, see if the fish are sitting on the point, or maybe they're sitting towards the backs of these pockets. This is the nice thing about moving baits, is you can cover a lot of water really quickly and figure out a pattern, or figure out where the fish are just generally located. Oh, there's the fish. Followed it. He ate it right at the boat. He followed it all the way up. I watched him on my live scope and he ate it. I just stopped that bait right there. Look at them. He's all spotted up. See, there's a perfect example of why you utilize your live scope. In that one little split second where I could see my crankbait come off the bottom, I was winding my crankbait. It come off the bottom, and I seen this fish following it, and I stopped it immediately, just let it sit there. He went right up and ate it. So it's always good to keep looking at your live scope while you're fishing. Yeah, he's got these spots all over him. He's pretty. You see that in a lot of bass. What I'll start to do is, on all my casts, I'll pause my crankbait just for a split second, just in case there's one following up there, and I'll get him to bite, instead of catching them at the boat, because it doesn't happen all the time. You know, we got those couple bites. I caught that one fish, and it was back towards a pocket, kind of going down this bank, like, if you will, but in another spot. I did have one fish that hit me towards the back of a pocket, so that could have definitely been a fish. And anyways, I think since we went around on the main lake side, we were fishing off the points and stuff like that, we're not getting any bites. But as soon as I get back here in this backwater stuff, that's when we're starting to catch some fish. That's narrowing our pattern down. So now we know we've eliminated quite a bit of water there that we don't have to fish. We can just roll in here and hit the high spots and be more effective, more efficient. If you can see here, I caught those fish in this area, kind of getting back towards this pocket. I went all the way down this stretch, fished all the way, got my next bite back in this pocket. Now, what you can't see is the wind is blowing in this direction towards these pockets. So what I'm gonna do here, you know, pretty common sense, I'm gonna look and I know which way the direction the wind's going, so I'll go down the lake here and I'll wait until I find one. Some of these pockets here are gonna have the wind blowing in them. We may hit those. We should be able to catch some fish in that. So when I'm throwing crankbaits, especially these 10-foot and less diving crankbaits, I prefer to throw 10-pound tests. The reason is because this bait will get down to the optimum level that it needs to be at. I mean, what they're meant to run. So when I throw this thing out, I let it hit the water. I'll crank it down. As soon as I start hitting some rocks, I'm gonna pause that thing for a second, and then I'm gonna continue running. I may speed it up real quick, slow it down, and then continue my retrieve. So when I'm throwing a crankbait, you know, kind of that 10-foot and under crankbait, my preference is a medium action rod. I think it's super important to have somewhat of a limber rod, especially in cold water conditions, because it's gonna allow that fish to really get that bait in their mouth. When it's cold, they may be nipping, you may be getting some fish on the back hook, and this allows you to really hook up those fish better. So this rod particular that I'm using right here is one of the new Fenwick Elite rods. It's just got great feel to me. This one right here is a 7-1. And it's just the right length for me. You can throw a little longer, a little shorter, but about a 7-foot rod is really perfect for this setup. I'm throwing the Abu Garcia Xenon reel. This is a 8:3 to 1 gear ratio. So if I want to slow that crankbait down and fish it slow, I can fish it slow. Or if I really want to burn it real quick and maybe get one to react to a bite, I like to have a little bit faster reel when I'm cranking. Plus, if I really want to cover some water, I can get down the bank in a hurry. You know, I'm really pleased to have this crankbait. It's been my go-to Berkley crankbait for all year round. It hunts really well. It gets in those rocks good. It's got a nice action to it. It's not too wide, and it's just a fish catching bait. My favorite thing about this thing is the way the weight system is in it. You can bomb this thing, I mean, a mile. It throws so good. I really like that in a crankbait. You know, some of those crankbaits you get, they kind of do that little shake if you don't throw them just right and whatnot. So this bait, like when I throw it, the butt end of it is facing forward and it goes every time. I mean, it's very consistent. I haven't really thrown a crankbait that throws that good, and I've just been super pleased with it. But plenty of really good color. There's a fish right there. It's a good one too. It's a good one. Get in here, baby. And that is what I'm talking about. Coming up. There it is, see? They eat the old dime. Come on, baby. Oh, don't come off. They seen it. Oh, there he is. Guys, I was just talking about how good this crankbait is. Look at there. You're gonna catch a lot of fish on this thing. It's just got a great action to it. I mean, they really designed that bait well. So phenomenal bait. Nice largemouth right there. What a fun day we had out here on the water. Don't be afraid to throw a crankbait in the wintertime. I don't care what the water temperature is. The fish are gonna bite it. They're always looking for crawfish and stuff to eat. So just a beautiful fish.